everyone, it's Janette here, and I would like to take you on a garden tour. It's June and I've had to wait all day for this because it's so lovely and sunny, but videos never come out very nice in the sunshine. It's always better when there's a cloud. So before I start, I want to recommend the most fabulous garden to you. I've just discovered this brand new channel which my friend Debbie recommended to me. His name is Mike and the channel is called Moxie Gardens, M-O-X-I-E Gardens. He lives in Kansas. Honestly, you have to watch. The most amazing garden, and a lot of it's all come about because he's had to battle with conditions in his garden, mostly the way that his land lies, all the water collected. Anyway, I'm not saying any more, you have to see. It is fabulous. So please watch and come and have a look at my garden. Here we are now. I have not done a garden tour since the beginning of April, and in that video I told you that I was going to cut all the grass away and make an oval bed, and that is what I did. And it was a lot of work. For those who followed me, you'll know it was a lot of work, but I am so delighted with the way that it has turned out. And all I've done so far is I've been transferring plants around, so there's still lots of gaps, but I've been transferring existing things around mostly. I've planted a couple of new things, but mostly I have transferred things that I already had. I'm so pleased with it. I absolutely love it. So I don't know now which way to go, because now I've got a circular garden. So let's go up the garden path. Now when I go to work every morning, before I go to work, I always have a little garden tour, and it's lovely, but on the one hand, but on the other hand it makes me not want to go to work. So I always come up here. This is a garden illusion gate. You can see that it's a mirror, but it's so cleverly designed. It looks like a gate. Let me back up a little bit. It looks like a gate that's slightly open and some secret garden at the back. But it was just a dead dark corner, and just by adding this gate, I think it just transforms the space. And what I do when I walk up here, I turn around, and this is probably my favourite view of the garden. I love it. I would put a chair here, except I would never sit in it. Plus I'd probably get bitten because there'd be mosquitoes around this bit, no doubt. Anyway, these are my boxwood, and I've battled with these. Anyone who knows me, you can see to the right there, there's a box tree moth trap, which I have to put out, and I put it out a good, I don't know, a month, 2 months ago. There's not been one single box tree moth caught in there. It catches the mouse, but it's not happened this year, which is very bizarre, but very good. Anyway, let's start here. This is my Gunnera, a Gunnera manicata, and I'm taking a huge gamble because these grow, well, it will grow this tall. So that's why I've put the cage around it, because I'm hoping to rein it in a bit. If all goes wrong, then I can easily get rid of it, but I just fancy trying one. Then next to it we have a rhododendron, and it doesn't actually flower very much. I can see this year, is that a flower or is that new leaves? Or is that a bud? If it's buds, there are lots of them, and then that's going to look beautiful. So let's hope it's buds. This is my apple tree, and I did have flowers. I only planted this earlier this year. It's done very well, although it does look as if it's getting a little bit bitten in places. I've added these little ladybirds dotted around on my fence because I think they just add a bit of fun, bit of colour. They were from the pound shop, so I really like those. Next to the tree, this is my poppy. This is going to be the best year for my poppy ever, because look at all these buds. Before, I've had one flower if I'm lucky, and this year I'm hoping this poppy will do wonderfully well. I watched Gardener's World, of course, and last year Monty, after it flowered, he told me, I was going to say, well, he told everybody, not just me, to cut it right back, which I did. So whether that has made it all these wonderful buds, I don't know, but it seems to have done the trick. Thank you, Monty, my personal advisor. This is very pretty because it adds some beautiful colour. It's a berberis, and next to the berberis we have a crocosmia. That will be orange flowers, and that always looks very pretty. Now this, Richard always laughs at this. He calls it the twig. It's an Aralia elata, and this is what it does. It will get bigger. It was leaning right over. We've staked it this year. That is my twig that Richard laughs at. I absolutely love it. And then next to it we've got a Van Gogh Tuscan totem pole cypress tree that needs a little prune, as you can see, because I watch Una from Granny's Garden, which I recommend. She says that you need to give it a little trim to keep its beautiful shape, so I will do that. Let's turn round a bit and you can see my fruit bushes, and I have a blueberry, a raspberry, a red currant and a gooseberry. Don't know how well they will do. They're just an experiment, a first time experiment. This is a euonymus, and it was branched off into two balls. If you saw my video, I decided to make it a single ball topiary. It needs a trim. All my topiaries need a trim. My lovely Fatsia japonica, you can see the new leaves distinctively looking fresher and younger than the old leaves underneath it. And I have a tip for that, which I'm going to show in another video, which I have yet to make. Now where should we go? It's all so confusing now. The hostas are there, and we have a vanilla phrase. That's a vanilla phrase hydrangea, and I only planted that last year, so I'm hoping that does well. A wonderful bright heuchera. Let me step back a bit. And then we have a blue fesco grass. As I say, most of these things were in different spots and I've moved them. So I already had them. At the front we have the dahlias that I planted recently. And then we have the salvia hot lips. You can see I've got lots of spaces, but I've got a lot of annuals. All that is wonderful space. I love space. We have the hot lips, and this is my lilac. And my lilac, everything is very slow this year. Everything's very behind. But you can see that's about to spring forth into life, hopefully. So that will be fun. Over at the back, one of the very last things to get going is a hibiscus Rose of Sharon. They're always very slow and you always think that they're dead, but they're not. I have moved this euonymus. I only did that yesterday actually, because it was a little further along and it was right behind some big bushes and completely getting lost. Some of these plants I can't even remember what they are. That at the front is a fuchsia. That there I'm not exactly sure. And here we have my pear tree. My pear tree is not that wonderful, but I'm just giving it a go. We have the other Tuscan cypress there, and we have this, I think it's called a wild berry. This beautiful plant here is a geum, and that was given to me, a cut-in, last year by my gardening friend Ron. Here we have this rose. This rose is stunning every single year, stunning. I'm going to back up because we have to see the front part as well. This is where it gets confusing. Here is my fuchsia, which I put in the obelisk, and then the very next day we had the most terrible winds and it got battered to pieces, so it suffered. The back in the little cage is one of the little peonies that I've planted, and you can see one in that little cage further behind it. Another blue fesco grass, another heuchera. That's just at the front. There's just some heathers which have seen better days. They're from the autumn. We have a lamb's ear there. It's the evening now, so these osteospermums look much better in the day, but they're closing up for the night. And my trusty dusty millers, I always have dusty millers every year. And then at the back in the corners are some baby butterfly bushes. And this stunning heuchera is called Dark Secret, and I've just moved that. That was round by the fountain, so today it was struggling a bit, so I kept watering it, and it looks okay now. But look at those beautiful colours. Now the reason I have so many stakes here on my Photinia red robin is because the very next day that I planted this, we had howling winds, and I was so worried that it was going to get toppled over. Now Una tells me, Una from Granny's Garden, we message each other a lot, she tells me that now I can cut away a few of the tips to get more bright red, so I will do that. Okie doke. I'm going to put some stepping stones here. Let's back up a little bit. A little red heuchera, or coral bells, I think people call them in the States. This is a verbena, and you can tell how far behind we are to everyone over in the American videos that I'm watching, because theirs are really tall, mine has just got going. Another blue fesco, a little boxwood, I've got some carex. This is my spiral topiary, and then we have some campanula which I've moved. This is the campanula. That should be beautiful blue flowers very soon. It's flopping over a bit. Round to this side, I've got a Sedum Autumn Joy. I love Sedum Autumn Joy. I think they're so easy to look after, so beautiful. I mean, it's not going to climb up this obelisk, but I just liked it. I thought it was attractive in the obelisk. And now it's wedged in the obelisk, so it's got to stay in the obelisk. How many times can you say obelisk? Beautiful euonymus topiary ball, which needs a trim. Couple more heucheras and some dusty miller and my lovely alliums. I've been so pleased with my alliums. They're so lovely. And either side of the stepping stone I've planted some lobelia, which I'm hoping, I've lost a couple already actually, but I'm hoping that will spill over, grow big and just make a little bit of colour either side of the pathway. And these, I've loved these in this position. They are the lemon cypress and I just love the way they just make a little entrance onto the grass. I think they're beautiful. I have some pansies. Now these pansies, they're ready to go really, as you can see. They've just about had their day. But these are amazing and I would definitely plant pansies next autumn because they were planted in autumn when there was nothing else much left. And they've gone on since, well, October. So that's like 7 or 8 months of colour. Beautiful colour. And another thing that looks stunning is this euphorbia. It's blooming. Euphorbias are at their best in the spring. This one is called Ascot Rainbow. And I love that. Over the back, another blue fescue. I have some more alliums, which I think are just gorgeous. I will fill my garden with alliums. Oh, I must tell you that the tulips that I had, I didn't actually capture them on video really. They were so lovely and I'm definitely stuffing my garden with tulips and alliums again this October. A couple more little heucheras. I'm afraid I can't remember the names of all these heucheras. I only remember the dark secrets. There's another dark secret there. But I can't remember. And we have a beautiful rose which I got for £3. I don't know what it's called. It was in the clearance in a little nursery, looking very worse for the wear, but look at the size of these buds. So I don't even know what colour they're going to be, so that's going to be fun. Should find out very soon. Well, actually you can see there they're red, so that's lovely. Now this berberis, when the sun comes down at the end of the day, which a lot of people call golden hour, it really hits this red, which is why I planted this heuchera next to it, because the red really stands out at the end of the day in the sun, and I think that's beautiful. Then we have this is my plum, and the plum was the one that I thought had died. It was the last of the trees to get going. Let's back up so you can see this area a little bit better. So we've gone around there. I really like this. It's not a circle, it's an oval, but I've really liked it. The grass has not done well. It looks okay from a distance, but it's not done well at all. But we have a solution for that, which I'm going to divulge in another video. We have some osteospermums. They've closed up for the day, unfortunately, but they're a beautiful colour. And this is the hebe that I hacked away and made into a topiary. I don't know if it will thank me for that. We have my lovely bay tree, which is putting on loads of growth. Look at all that brand new growth. It's very happy here, I do think. And at the bottom of it are some, they're called hebe as well, and those suckers. Now I did say when I planted this bay tree that what I was going to do was let the suckers grow, and then I was going to get some of this stuff called sucker punch, which is by a company called Bonide. You paint it on and it just kills the suckers. It doesn't harm the tree. However, Bonide is not available in the UK, and I cannot find anything similar at all. And I did try and look quite a lot last year, so I've stopped looking. I need to research that, but other than that I will just have to cut them down at the base, but I don't think that's a long-term solution. That's the trouble. We have some dahlias which are very pretty. Oh, these are all these slug traps, and I have 12 dotted around, and I'm hoping that does the trick with the slugs. And I have some geranium. This beautiful rose here was the rose that my friend Jean Leach sent me. It's my very first and only David Austin rose, and it's a cut-in from her garden which she sent to me. There are no buds on it as yet. I've only just planted it in the ground. It's been in a pot. No buds yet. But look at the wonderful leaves. I mean, there's seven there, 7 on each of them. This is a lovely Nandina which I put here for a bit of colour, a bit of yellowy colour. This, you may remember, is my beautiful Ilex, my lovely topiary cloud prune. I love it. It's just fabulous. Love that. And I think it's okay because it's got little shoots and growth, so it must be happy. And then moving round, we've got another, oh, that's an agapanthus from Mum's garden. I've got one over the other side, I missed that one. Another heuchera next to my disco ball. Another slug trap, although they have got my hosta a little bit. And Monty said that slugs are attracted to plants that are in distress, which was interesting. Look. So, is it in distress? I'm sorry. This is my beautiful Bollywood planter. I mean, the plants are called Bollywood mix, but I'm now calling it my Bollywood planter, and that was only done recently. And it is in the shade. Doesn't really get a lot of sun, but it seems to be happy and it seems to be beautiful, and I love the colours, and it's made me want to get away from, I kept picking pinks all the time, drawn to pinks, and now I'm not going to do that. And my Little Ben clock, and someone laughed at me calling it that, but it is actually called the Little Ben, so I didn't make that name up myself. So anyway, that's the circular section. I've got lots of gaps, as you can see, but I have an awful lot of annuals, and I'm going to be going round and just stuffing everywhere with annuals. Let's just go round here. That's my theatre stand that I painted. Now look, I didn't do a very good job. Obviously needed to do undercoat, but I quite like the look of the tarnished look. Anyway, they're my violas, which I planted from seed last year, and they've been really pretty. That's a little lime hydrangea. Don't know what those two are called. I'm afraid I do forget things. I think that on the right is a pearis, but I don't like it. It doesn't look very attractive in my opinion. Or what I might do, yes, that's what I'm going to do. These ones look okay, so I might cut all these bits back and just go back to here and have the dark green. Yeah, look, it's all falling off. That's not happy, is it? We've got another sedum over the back. And this is a lovely Nandina. And this is why I got the other Nandina, because these colours are like this all year. All year's all different colours. Very, very beautiful. Sorry about Lottie barking. We have to try and ignore her. Now look at this. My Mahonia. This Mahonia, every time I say how wonderful it is, because it does something different every month, and now we've just got so many gorgeous berries. Some of the leaves are browning a bit, and I'm wondering if it's lacking in nutrients. I mean, look at that. This is about 8 feet tall. Yeah, I wonder if it's lacking in nutrients. Now I know my friend Una from Granny's Garden will watch this video, so I'm going to ask Una, what do you think? Why are my leaves all going brown? And do you think it might be a good idea, as much as I love this height, do you think it would be a good idea, Una, to cut it back down to maybe here-ish? This high. You can see if I back up what it would look like. Would that give it a bit of a rejuvenation, or is it all right? Hopefully you'll tell me. Okay, this is another euonymus that desperately needs a trim. I need to do all that. This was the Salix that I planted, which is called a flamingo tree as well. That is, I love it. That's done really well. Happy with that, that's for sure. Now moving on to my clematis. This one is called the Ice Blue. That's coming into bloom. That's beautiful. Look at those. Don't know, that's it, yes. Ice Blue. Very pretty, and loads of buds on that one, as you can see. This one has still, that's a later one, so that's not doing much. And this one is called Bourbon, or Bourbon. That's flowering, really nice. But it is going wild, and it's moving all the way along to the next door trellis and up and over. I'm going to lose all my flowers if I don't bring it back. Now, what was this called? Oh, I've forgotten. I ate some of it in a video. Goodness, what was that called? I'll put the name up because it will come to me. That's my other dark secret heuchera, a hydrangea, and a lovely clematis flower. This is my other apple tree. That's doing very well. I hope this video is not going on too long. It does seem a bit long. Campanula's there, and I have my Chinese plumbago, which I hacked to within an inch of its life, and it sprung back. Another sedum autumn joy. This rose is yellow. Unfortunately, it's right behind everything, but I can't really move it because it's so old. It's been here longer than I have, and I think I will kill it if I move it, so you don't actually get to see the flowers. A euonymus. Do you remember this? This was my planter, which I planted with a mix called the Blues, and that's doing fabulous. And I've put some ornamental cabbages, which I grew from seed, and they're still looking good. We are nearly there, everyone. This topiary is a yew. Some more allium. I have a yarrow in the front, which my boss Sue bought for me last year, and that's come back. This is a Shasta daisy, which I bought on clearance. Looked as if it was dead, but it's coming back, and that's going to look lovely. And this is a dogwood. It is a Chorus alba sibirica, and I didn't cut the branches down last year because I read somewhere that you needed to have it in the ground for a full year before you do any drastic cutting, so I left it. But I really like that, and I think it stands out so nice against the fence. Very nice. And we have my climbing rose, which is going to be white, and some more dusty millers. I can't remember what this white plant is at all, but I do know to the right of it is potentilla. And then I have my limelight hydrangea, which is doing well. This was the smoke bush that I moved, which was nearly dead. It was right over by the garden illusion gate, and it is doing wonderfully, which I'm really pleased. And just at the front I have some Senetti, and I was drawn to the colour of it. And then the very next day it rained for about 3 days, hammered the life out of the poor things, and so they really suffered and could do with a bit of deadheading. But I wouldn't buy those again, I don't think. So that's that bed, and funnily enough it's turning into some sort, apart from those purple Senetti, it's turning into a kind of a moon garden vibe, which was unintentional, but everything in it is white apart from the alliums and the Senetti. It's all ended up white. So that's everything all around this way. I've worked really hard in this garden. I did all the weeding the other day, of which there was a lot. So we just very quickly, last few containers. This is the climbing rose, and it's got some superbena in front. This here is a weed, which we won't dwell on that. My fake plants area, they were all, I was coming out in the morning and they were blown all the way around the garden every day. I had to go and find them, so I got some oasis, and now they're not going anywhere. And I might get some brighter colours. If I see any fake plants, I can add to that. The vegetable garden, these are my vegetables, and I've yet to plant up. I have radishes, spicy mix lettuce, I have onions, I have radishes, beetroot and kale. And then in the front I've got the pots ready for when I get my tomatoes and things. So that's going okay. And superbenas, clematis, another climbing rose, which, look at the little roses. Superbenas. This is a wonderful sight. Oh, these are my little begonias that I planted. But this is a wonderful sight, which is full of annuals ready to be planted out into the landscape. Coleus, I've got dahlias. They are all the geraniums which are going around by the fountain. Yes, all doing well. So my greenhouse has been very useful. And then I have a load more there. The calendulas and the ornamental cabbage have been brightening up this area, which is surprising because it gets no sun really. That's been doing well. My strawberries, oh yes, look, little flowers everywhere. We have little baby strawberries on the way. In fact, I saw one here, a strawberry. I tried to do netting, but it was unsuccessful. I need to net them all properly though, because I think the birds will get them. And the honeysuckle, which is doing well. I have 2 honeysuckles, which is probably too many, but I had 2, so we planted 2. And finally, the planters which I planted. This was my new one, and it's called, the mix is called Strawberries and Cream. They're doing very well. And there you go. So that's my garden. I've worked very, very hard and it's so worth it. I have a pink gin and tonic to celebrate. I wish you all a wonderful week and I will see you soon. Bye.